We all know high ticket offers are where the profit is made. The big mistake most people make is thinking that's all that they need, that they just create a 2, 5, 10K, whatever product, offer, service, and they go to market and then launch that to people. And then they're like, I'm not making any sales. What's going on? Thing is, yes, high ticket is where the profit is made, but you're never going to sell it effectively if you don't have the right system. I've already spoken in recent videos about how you can get people in with a low cost offer and then how you can nurture them to that high ticket offer. But here I want to go more detailed on the theory behind it and the reasoning why you need that system so that you understand it from every angle. Let's get into it. This is effectively what it comes down to. You stop selling high ticket offers to strangers. It's never really going to work. Now, I've worked with hundreds of people over the years, helped make millions of dollars. And the big problem that I see with selling high ticket offers is that you need two things for it. And you need volume and trust. Okay. And most people, what they don't have, and this is what causes that feast and famine cycle. You have a great month today, terrible month next month, another terrible month, then a good month, whatever. You've got really lumpy revenue, which looks like your revenue goes great month, bad month, great month, bad month. It's really hard to scale that. So one of the major causes of feast and famine is that people just aren't reaching enough people with their offer. I used to work with a lot of freelancers and consultants and things like, I emailed 30 people and only 2 have responded. It's like, yake, you've spoken to 2 people effectively. You need to have a constant stream of people seeing this offer if you want it to do well. It's really hard to do with a high ticket offer, which I'll explain in a minute. Now, even if you can get good numbers, build that whole system that will allow you to send 1,000 emails per day, you'll still find that sales are low because you've not built any trust. Think of it this way. If I was to come up to you on the street and be like, hey, you don't know me at this point, you've never seen a video, anything like this, and I say, hey, I need $5,000 and I can clean your car. Are you going to trust me? You'll be like, no thanks, mate. On your bike. There's no trust built. Why on earth should somebody trust you with not just their money, but the thing that they are working so hard to grow, their business? In that case, it's less about the money. I don't want to trust somebody I don't know with my business, my online reputation, all of this sort of stuff. You can't just go in and give that kind of control over to a complete stranger. And then the other big issue that causes feast and famine I see is that people are exhausting their audience. They have, let's say, an audience of 500 people on an email list. It doesn't matter. It could be 500, it could be 500,000. But if all that you do is you promote the same thing to them over and over again, it's never really going to work. People think that all that they need is that high ticket offer and just to keep hammering people with it. And they're going to make sales. It doesn't really work that way. Reason being that there's very few people who are ready to buy right now, and you need the right system in place to get them to that point where they feel ready and confident to buy. So high ticket essentially is, and this is what most people get wrong, they misunderstand what it is. It's not there for discoverability. This is not what you launch to the market to people who don't know you. You don't just go out there and be like, pay me 10K, wicked. It's great for profit, terrible for discoverability. You need a system that solves for discoverability and leads to the profit, okay? If you have that lack of volume, you're going to have a lack of sales, which is going to be really difficult then for your business to scale. What it all comes down to is this. There is only around 3% of your audience who is ready to buy. So this whole big blue area are not ready to buy. And this is what people are doing, is they're going to all of these people and they're saying, hey, do you want to pay $5,000 for this? And people are like, nope, don't need it right now. Don't know who you are, whatever. You're still paying to reach all of those people. Whether you're paying for a cold outreach system, whether you're paying for ads, you're paying to reach all of these people. Very few of them are actually ready, willing, and able to buy. You're looking at this 3% over here. So what happens then is you waste all of this money reaching all of those people to try and find these small, tiny demographic of people. And then is the profit that you make from here really going to cover all of that cost? It's why you see people who sell a 2K offer, but it takes them, let's say 2K average order value, takes them 1.8K to actually acquire a customer because they've had to waste so much spend reaching people who are just not ready to buy or are not even going to give you the time of day. This is why I prefer low ticket offers as the entry point, right? Low ticket offers, they have a much lower risk, they have a much wider appeal, and they allow you to control the relationship. And I'll show you the stats in a second. But essentially, if you're going out there with a 5K offer, only these people are going to be open to the potential of buying. They're not necessarily going to buy from you. Just because they're ready to buy doesn't mean that they're going to buy from you. And I would argue if you're approaching them cold, they're definitely not going to buy from you. However, a low ticket offer of say anything from $1 to 99, all of these people here will likely buy because they'll be like, hey, do you know what? It's an impulse buy. I'll give it a shot, see if it helps. And that then gives you permission to continue marketing to them, to build that relationship and move them towards here, this little red point. And what we found actually is you can actually widen that with the right system. So it's not 3%, it's 5 to 10%. So low ticket offers are the entry point, and it's that permission to continue marketing to them so that when they're at that point ready to buy, you're there, you're the person that they trust. Okay. Here's the thing, right? Even with a system that is well dialed in, so I use the ACCER model. So what I teach everyone to do, and you've got this first bit, which is attract, capture, convert, engage, and refer. Essentially, attract, capture, convert. All that this is acquisition at scale. What you're trying to do is you're trying to hoover up all of these blue people, right? You're trying to get them all into your business, because within that, there will be people who are fit for your high ticket offers. But what you're doing is you're giving them something that's so low risk, they'll take that chance. And then that gives you permission to continue building that relationship, okay? You're not really here to make money on this. What we'll then do is we'll build the right system to promote the high ticket offer, and you're looking at a 5 to 10% conversion rate over here on people who come in from the low ticket $1 products all the way through to the engage stage, 5 to 10%. So if you can get 100 customers a month, you'll be looking at, say, 5 clients a month from this. Okay. And those 100 customers have come in for free because you've covered your costs. All that this money that you make here at Convert, you roll that back into your marketing spend so that you can reach more people, bring them in, build how much of that market you control that's in blue, and then you just nurture them towards that next bit. And even if they're not within this 5 to 10% right now, you still own that contact so you can continue to market to them. So when they hit that point with, we need help, that person was really good, they really helped us, let's go to them. Okay. A different way to think about this that's really helped me is to understand that there are different stages within your market. So years ago, I did an analysis of Sam Ovens and consulting.com and how he built that. And basically what Sam did was he built one offer, one complete system that went deep, not wide. A lot of people are trying to go wide with their offers. If we're talking about marketing, because you're watching this, so I assume you know about marketing, it's like SEO, pay-per-click marketing, email marketing, that's going wide. That's different disciplines, right? What Sam did was he went deep with his offer. He did one thing and he had different levels of depth with it, because your market will be at different stages. So Sam had, buy the course for $2,000. It will show you how to start a consulting business. The next level was, I think, 6,500 or something. And that was how to take the consulting business that you've started. You're now making 10K a month. I'll show you how to get it to 50K a month. Then the next thing was, I'm going to show you how to do this at a deeper level, and so that you can systematize this and really scale this brand. One offer, basically grow a consulting business, but at different stages, entry level, mid, deep, right? So it's the same thing with most markets. You will have different levels and different stages that people are at within their whatever it is that you help with. Now, generally speaking, you'll have loads more people at the entry level. If we use my kind of business to make money online, digital marketing, entrepreneurs, digital entrepreneurs, all of the kind of stuff, there's lots of people out there who want to start a business, right? Lots of people who want to have their own side hustle, all of this sort of stuff now, because the economic situation is terrible, so people want more money. There's so many of those. There are very few people within that market who are running $1 million plus a year business. I think it's only 5% of businesses end up making $1 million a year. You're looking at, in my case, 5% of people are here. This is like less than 1% of people that would be a fit for this. Of course, the people who are up here that are early into their journey, they're not going to have as much expendable income to really spend on this. The people who are further down are going to have more expendable income to spend on this. And like I said, I assigned some stages here. If we're looking at my sort of stuff, effective growth models, stage 1 would probably be helping people create an offer, sell it to their audience. That's going to be get your first sale, create the offer, make that first sale. Stage 2, you've got an offer that has sold. Let's get 10 to really validate this offer. Then let's build a system to help you scale this. Then we want to retain those customers and clients and get them to buy again. Then we want to scale this brand by building SOPs and hiring people so that you can step away from the business, or scale it really huge because you can then hire a full team for all of this sort of stuff, okay? Very few people are at this stage. A little more here, a little more here. And if we're looking at this in terms of the high ticket offer, what most people will do is they will have heard online, high ticket offers are where the money are at. They're like, I need a high ticket offer for this audience. What can I sell that would help people for 2K plus? And let's actually put a proper price on this. And we'll go, I'm going to charge people 10 grand for this. I'm going to help them retain more of the revenue that they're making and retain more of their customers so they don't have as much churn. And they're going to be able to keep more of the customers they've got coming in so that their monthly recurring revenue stays high. So they're going in at stage 4. There's 5% of the market at stage 4 who are ready for them. Okay. They've determined these guys don't have the money to pay them. These guys don't have the money to pay them. These guys maybe do, but they're not at the stage yet where it's a good fit. So they're really only looking at this. They've got 6% of the market that they can reach with this offer. And of that 6% of the market where it's a good fit, 3% of those are ready to buy right now. You see the numbers already are not looking good. That is just on a pure number basis. That you're looking at a very small percentage of people who are ready to buy those high ticket offers. When you're paying for marketing, it's still very difficult to reach only those people. There's all of these things where you can do for cold outreach with various tools. You can do like stage a business if they've raised funding, all of this sort of stuff. It's not as effective as they make it out to be. And honestly, cold outreach I hate. I just don't think it's very effective anymore. If you're paying for ads, reaching just those people is almost impossible because you can only target the market as a whole. So you're going to waste spend reaching all of these people that you cannot sell to because they're either not ready or don't have the cash. The deeper issue here is that when you're selling high tickets, so these bottom 3 stages, it really comes down to attention and trust, right? Do they trust you enough to spend that 10K with you and trust you with retaining their top customers? You're a stranger. Of course they don't. The other thing is attention. Why would I give you my attention? I get, I would say, anywhere between 3 and 10 messages per day across different channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, cold outreach, and that's cold email and cold calls. I get 3 to 10 people per day calling me saying, hey, we're an agency. We would love to help you with da-da-da. I don't know you. I don't even give them the time of day. I just straight delete that stuff. So to sell those latter stages, it comes down to attention and trust, right? I don't have the trust in those people. And a new person coming in saying, hey, this is 10 grand. I'm not going to give them the attention so that they can build the trust. And what most people fail to recognize is that high ticket offers are generally sold on one of 2 things: relationships, reputation. If you're selling only to 1% of the market kind of thing, you're not really going to have that huge reputation. So you have to have the relationships. If you've not built the relationship, it's going to be very hard to sell to that 1% of the market and build that reputation. So you're in this catch-22, which is why I prefer the low ticket offer that focuses up here, first of all. So if we summarize that, just the difficulties here, high ticket offers are hard because there's a high resistance because people don't want to give you that amount of money. And usually high ticket offers are focusing on very significant portions of that business, and they don't really want to trust you with that if you don't have a great reputation, you refer to them, or you don't have a relationship with them already. Selling 5K through cold DMs is going to be hard. They're sold through relationships and rep, as I said. It's very hard to target them because there's such a small portion of the market who are ready for that, that being able to like pinpoint sniper markets those is very difficult. Even if you can do that, it's very hard to cut through the noise and get the attention of that person. So there's a lot of waste, which means that there's lower volume, lower opportunities. There are fewer people that you can market to, higher resistance, okay? And what I prefer to do, what we found works better overall, and we'll break down the numbers in a second, is you target the whole market with that low ticket offer, the $1 product that you're going to build. What that'll do is that'll attract everybody at stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. People are like, oh yeah, but if these guys are focused on retention, why on earth would they care about how to make your first sale? If you've got a good system that is a more effective way to create offers that people desperately want to buy, do you think the person who's worried about making more money over here is going to ignore that? No. I'm running a $27 product, which is how to create essentially a self-liquidating offer and attract customers for free, right? Customers that you can then nurture into clients. That's my core offer at the minute, my core low ticket offer, how to attract people for free, how to attract paying customers for free. In the last year, the vast majority of the people that I get would be at stage 1 or 2 because they're a much bigger part of the market. However, it's also attracted a lot of people further down the funnel. There's been quite a few 6-figure entrepreneurs that have come through, 1 or 2 7-figure entrepreneurs, 1 or 2 8-figure entrepreneurs, and even 1 9-figure entrepreneur who's a common name in the space. These people are obviously perfect fits for my higher ticket offers, but they've come in through my low ticket offers. And that's the secret to building these things, right? Yes, you have the high ticket offer and you start building that first, but then you've got your high ticket offer, you reverse engineer what would be the entry point for the low ticket offer that would make sense moving somebody from here to here. Generally speaking, if somebody over here is worried about step 5, they're not going to completely ignore step 1, because we all need good fundamentals, foundations to continue growing in whatever we're doing, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a sport, whether it's a business thing. The foundations are really important. And anybody who's past a certain point knows if there's a more efficient way to do the day-to-day stuff, they're going to be interested in that because it's going to compound later. They know this. And they have the money to give your $1 product a chance. They'll throw money at it without thinking, but then that purchase is permission for you to nurture them towards the high ticket offer. It's a much, much more effective system. Not everybody's going to be ready to buy, of course not, but we see 5 to 10% of people who buy the low ticket offer are then primed to buy the high ticket offer with the right system in place. Now you might still be thinking, Pete, this is bullshit. I just want to create a high ticket offer because that's all I want to do. I'm going to go out there. And Alex Hormozy said, if you want to make a lot of money, sell high ticket stuff to high ticket people. Great. Problem is, selling high ticket stuff is about reputation and relationships. Hormozy has reputation. Even if he doesn't have a relationship with you, quick Google, you'll be like, guy seems to know what he's talking about. And it's about volume, more opportunities for you. A lot of people are just missing those opportunities. So let's break down some numbers, and these are real numbers. So I found this on LinkedIn, and I keep seeing these pop up all the time. Here's the thing, right? So 2,100 cold emails led to 9 calls. 9. Okay. How many sales are from this? We don't know because they didn't say how many sales. And this is the problem. Whenever you look at like a lot of these guys who do cold email, they'll talk about how many calls are booked. They won't talk about how many sales are made. It's vanity metrics. Okay. We want to care about revenue. So that is a 0.4% message to call rate. And then let's say that they have a really good close rate and they close 50% of those people. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say five sales from 2,100 leads. That's awful. It's so much harder now to do cold outreach than it used to be. I used to do cold outreach a couple of years ago out of my primary inbox, right? I just used to link it to HubSpot. I'd get 200 emails every month. I'd email all of those people and I would get 3 or 4 clients from that. No longer the way. You need to now, like, it's a really complex setup if you're doing cold outreach at scale, where you have to have multiple email domains. Within each domain, you have to have multiple inboxes, sending a small amount of emails per day, like 25, 30. So if you want to hit 1,000, you're going to have dozens of different email inboxes. You need to maintain that system. You need to warm them up. You need to worry about the reputation. So it's a complex setup. It's difficult to maintain, and it has a very low conversion rate. Okay. Let's say the ACCER model, we have, and let's go the lowest end of this, 5%, not booking calls, but converting to your high ticket offer, converting paid money, right? Let's say that you're spending $100 a day, so $3K a month roughly. And let's imagine that we have not even break even. We're actually losing money. And whenever we build these with people, the minimum we aim for is break even because we want to liquidate that spend so everything on the back end is profit. But let's just say for this, we're doing a 0.8 ROAS. So we're losing 20%. So from this, we're losing $600 off that 3K that we spent, but we're getting most of that money back within 1 or 2 days because we put $100 into ads today. Tomorrow we make $120. We put $100 into ads tomorrow. That day we only make $50. Okay. So it balances out, but we're getting paid back very quickly. We're never deep in debt. We're $600 down at the end of the month. For a business cost, acceptable. We're getting 3 sales a day. So we're getting 90 customers at the end of the month. These are just numbers that are pretty typical based on what I've seen and what we do, and like the average order value, the CPAs that we get, the ROAS is lower than we aim for. So we've got 90 people coming through. That's 90 people who then, at our refer stage, can become potential promoters and bring in more people. So we set up that flywheel. That's something for a different video. However, 5% of those 90 come through to the high ticket offer. Let's just go with $2,000, right? That's 4.5 customers. So we'll call it 4. That is $8K minus the 600 that we lost over here, $7,300 profit. We've reached a fraction of the people that these guys have, right? 2,100 leads. We've spent $600. They've probably spent similar on this kind of system if they're doing it themselves. If they have help as well, add another grand, maybe $2,000 to that in terms of agency fees to set all of this stuff up. But we've spent $600 because everything else is liquidated to make $7,300. Tell me this isn't a better system. The reason that this works is because we have a low ticket offer here at Convert that's bringing in buying customers, paying customers, people who want to actively solve the problem. We have the right system here, and then that is a more effective way to convert them to the high ticket offer. This is why low ticket is the way forward. It's going to help you offset all of that ad spend. It's going to mean that you're bringing in more serious people. And then with the right system at the engage stage, you're going to be able to convert 5 to 10% of them to your high ticket offer. And that high ticket offer, you get that front end working at break even, straight profit. In this case, if we could get the ROAS to be 1, so we broke even, we're at almost 100K a year with $300 a month off 100K a year. 100K a year is $8,333 per month. And unlike some other people who will say $8,333 revenue, 7,000 of that is cost. So, they're looking at $1,300 in profit. Our high ticket offer on the back end is straight profit because we've already covered the costs. Okay. And like I said, with this guy up here, he's talking about these. This is not accounting for any of the other costs in there. System setup, agency fees. If they have salespeople on those calls, they need a wage. They're probably getting commission. It's a big cost here. This is the most effective method for growing your business. And the wonderful thing is, when you're self-liquidating here on the front end, you could spend just $3K a month, keep bringing in those 90 customers every single month. And then you're never really going to see that feast and famine because you've got a constant stream of new leads coming in. And as time goes by, more and more of those people will hit a point where the high ticket offer is the right time for them. So it compounds over time. This is the best system to do. This is how you do it. This is why we build these systems. Most people think, yes, high ticket offer is where the money's made, but they think that you take the high ticket offer and you take that straight to market. No, it's very difficult to sell. With this method, you can keep feeding the beast for free with people who are within your target market and identify that 5 to 10% of people who are willing to buy the high ticket offer and nudge them towards it on autopilot. Now, if you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments. But this is the best system, in my opinion, to set up. A little bit of setup's required, but yeah, it is the best system. Any questions, or if you want to fight me on this, let me know. We'll chat it out soon. Take care.